Hey, well, it's being able to come back live in the garden. Un momento, por favor. All right, family. What's up, world? Being able to come back in the garden, guys. I want to come back. If you've seen the title was a couple of provisions that Congress is talking about passing, that they should pass, that you kind of wonder what's the hold up. But at the same time, it's something that I spoke on maybe a week or so ago, but I don't know what happened to my video. I did a live, and I actually mentioned how Congress was going to, pass another stimulus package where, individuals over the age of 16 will receive $2,000 stimulus check. What they basically calling it, family, is a UBI check, which is a universal basic income check. Dimitri, what it do? It's basically something that they've been doing in Europe and Canada for many, many years. And so they basically talking about bringing it over here. Like I said, if you didn't get a chance, check my live out I did last week. I don't know what happened to it, but I actually hit on this. And it was something that Congress was doing. And like I said, if you just join the family, if you have a chance to make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because I think this is information that can actually help a lot of people out, because you have that real news and fake news. And right now, unfortunately, when you have over 30 million people not working, not no fault of their own, you have to really kind of understand what is it that they can do, or what is that the government, or what is it that they can do to kind of, get through this particular time. Well, like I say, Congress, couple of congressmen were, proposing a $2,000 UBI check, and now I just found out over the wire that a couple of senators, actually Kamala Harris, one that was running for president, her and another senator is proposing a $2,000 UBI check for every individual over the age of 16, plus $2,000 for children as well. So I know in the last stimulus, it said it had $1,200 plus $500 per child. Okay, and now Congress is proposing a $2,000 check plus $500 per child, but the senators, a couple of senators are proposing a $2,000 stimulus check plus $2,000 each child. So who really actually benefits from that would be a couple who's that's married or married and have 3 kids. Okay, so now you're looking at, $2,000 each adult plus $2,000 for each kid, and it maxes up to 3 kids. So that's $10,000 right there a month for that family of 5. And that's what a couple of senators are proposing. Now you got to ask yourself, in this last couple of months since we've been off, there's been a lot of, heartache. There's been a lot of situations where people have not only lost their jobs, but not had opportunity to even make money because, we've been shut down. And so the $1,200 stimulus check, yeah, that was cool. You dig? But it was only, to me, cool for people who was still receiving a check or still working. Those that's not working, that $1,200, I mean, that was a huge stretch. Okay. And so now, once again, they're just proposing this, a $2,000 stimulus check, but it's not just going to be a check. It's supposed to be a stimulus, like a UBI system, like they have in Europe, where it's a universal basic income check every month. And it's like $2,000 every month for everybody over the age of 16. Now, you just got to ask yourself, how is it that they can't come together as one unit? I was rapping to my homeboy about this. It's kind of interesting that we have 2 particular parties, political parties. Ella, how you doing? It's Fifi. Fifi, what's up? How do you have 2 political parties You dig? When you have one particular society that's voting. And so when you hear about these propositions where it's $2,000, the Congress want to propose $2,000, a couple of senators want to propose $2,000, but you guys are not even working right now. Y'all on recess. So what, you got a couple of cats just at the crib, coming up with propositions that's going to improve the quality of life for the masses. But if y'all not even at work and y'all on recess, you guys can't even come together collectively and make a particular decision that's going to benefit the masses. And that's why I say it's just so crazy. This is crazy. I mean, there wasn't any propositions when they approved the first stimulus of $2.2 trillion. There wasn't a proposition of the additional $480 billion. So it wasn't a proposition. Things just got done. When all this money was going to corporations, things got done. And so for these people to just be proposed, it's kind of like having a carrot on a stick. And it's like, what do you do in that situation? It's kind of crazy. And so if you're politically inclined to vote federally, you really have to look at this, from a macro standpoint. Look at this. I mean, first of all, understanding that Congress, of course, is like, 438 of them? And then you have like 100 senators. So all together, guys, you have like 550, like 560 people that's deciding the quality of life for over 300 million people. And to decide to shut the whole country down and have 30 million people out of work, decide what's essential and not essential. Because to me, what's essential to me may be non-essential to somebody else. But I tell you, what's essential to everybody is self-preservation and being able to support yourself and your family. That's essential to everybody. So you got to really understand, it's just, I don't know. KY, what it do? Okay. And so, like I say, when you have 540 people deciding the quality of life for over 300 million, you got to really ask yourself, are we really that cognitively dissonant? Right? Because the only way we as a nation can let something like that happen, especially now, is to say that, well, you know what? They got us. Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Harvey, what happened in Puerto Rico, what happened in Haiti. I'm just saying, it's not a notion that they got us. These are propositions, family. And we got people that's been out of work for 2 months. You dig? And so, like I say, just, if you just joined me, family, I really appreciate you. I'm talking about two propositions that Congress, 530 some people, are deciding, do we want to do this for them? What? And they not even at work, they're on recess. And the propositions are, providing $2,000 a month, for every individual over the age of 16. But they're just talking about it. And then, of course, the next proposition is the payroll tax exempt. You've been talking about that for a minute now. When you can just automatically approve trillions of dollars like that for corporations, like that on a dime, it shouldn't be a hold-up, family, on $2,000. Oh, we want to make sure we get people $2,000 because we have 30 million people out of work. We need to do that. Bam, that should have been done yesterday. Oh, we want to make sure that all the essential workers that's out there working right now, we want to give them a payroll deduction. That payroll tax, we want to cut that. That should have happened by now. You did? And so that's why I always try to pray yourself first, because when you understand where you are, collectively in this particular situation, it's really easy. Hey, Ashley, how you doing? It's really easy. Okay? So, like I say, these propositions that they're talking about, family, $2,000 a month and cutting the payroll tax off your checks. But trillions of dollars have already been signed off. And if you guys know anybody that received that small business loan, right? Well, make sure that if you one of the guys out there to receive that small business loan, or if you know somebody to receive that small business loan, I hope they understand the tax ramifications on it, okay? Doing some research, and I kind of just found out that they're not going to even let you deduct your expenses for doing business. Now, you got to understand, if you've been out, your business been off for 2 months, Angeline, what it do? And your business been out of work for 2 months, or you've been closed for 2 months, and they say they're going to give you a loan, a small business loan. This SBA try to help, build the economy, right? And so you're applying for these loans, even though you got, big cats like Harvard and Chris Stake and Los Angeles Lakers, all these cats getting these loans, they don't need it. But the small business people that receive this loan, family, they can't even deduct the doing business expenses. So if they got like $800,000 loan, right, and they needed $50,000 of that $800,000 to repair things in their business, to pay their employees certain situations, to basically just build up their business, right? That is they can't reduce that. They can't deduct that. They can't deduct that as taxes. It's just a loan. You know what I'm saying? And so make sure if you receive that small business loan, or somebody else received that small business loan, they need to contact their accountant to make sure they understand the ramifications, because a lot of people thinking that loan that they receive, they're going to be able to buy and purchase things for their business, right? And be able to write that off like they normally do every year. But that's not the case. If you receive money from the government and you have to spend a lot of money on doing business, they're not going to let you, deduct that. That's crazy, right? Wow. Fifi, that's crazy right there. Exactly. I mean, so a lot of people haven't even received the stimulus check. And that's why I say don't depend on that. But I tell you this right here, right? This economy, and if you've been in the garden for a while with me, I've been talking about this for a minute. This economy is going to crash. And when I mean crash, remember, you got many people at the crib. Ain't nobody buying stocks. Ain't nobody investing like that, right? So how is it that it's still at 24,000 points, the Dow Jones? It's phony money. But when it does crash, come on, man. It's going to be a nice opportunity for us, because we're not going to ever build anything being an employee. Please don't believe that. You're going to have to pay yourself first and get this change like they get it. And the only way we're going to really get it like that is to make sure that you pay yourself first. And like I say, if they do decide to have any type of compassion, because I promise you, just on a side note, how can people be this way? You have to understand it has to be a gene. It has to be something, something in them to be able to know that so many millions of people are unemployed. And Angeline, thanks for that. 33.3 million unemployed, but that's not even including the homeless. You dig? Okay? So pay yourself first, family. I do want to come tonight. Like I say, I just want to, this whole live tonight, I'm not going to be on long. I just kind of wanted to give some information about, these propositions. And if you're a voter, right, and these cats are still in office and you go down there to vote, you need to understand that 530-something people decide the quality of life for 300 million people. Think about it. They're not even at work right now, Congress and the senators. But guess what? That $174,000 they get every year, they only got to work 6 years before they vested. And here you got all of the people that have to work 20, 30, 40 years to get Social Security, and they already talking about Social Security may be, 24% less by 2035. I just can't understand it, family. If you like to read, I want to suggest you guys read a book called A Brave New World by a cat by the name of, what's his name? It was written in the 30s. Actually, the name of the book is called Brave New World, right? And I can't think of the author's name right now. I read it years ago. Another book called 1984. I think that I can't remember the author, Orson Welles, somebody, but the title is Brave New World and 1984. And it's going to kind of give you an indication of how things are and how we over here be so hedonistically, you know, inclined to just go by and just accept anything. It just blows me away. No doubt, KY. It's crazy. You did? So pay yourself first, family. Like I say, if you don't rely on this $2,000 stimulus check that they kind of putting out there like a carrot, right? Because if they really actually want to do something for the people, that had been done yesterday. Remember, trillions of dollars that already been given to these large corporations. And then they want to give the peanuts to the small businesses, but then make the small businesses not have that tax shelter. And that ain't cool. Okay? That ain't cool. So schools, of course, they're going to start opening up schools pretty soon here in August. Like I said, me being a coach and PE teacher, man, it's kind of crazy because, a lot of states need money for schools. Isn't that crazy? And no doubt. Okay, no doubt, Brandon. Great. Ryan Ashley, you born in 1984. That's synchronicity right there. And K. Waller Pimp, no doubt, inflation. I mean, you should already be experiencing inflation right now. I mean, I just bought what? Some ground beef a couple of months ago. It was like $1.98. Went to go buy some ground beef the other day, like $4.80. And it's just crazy because I promise you, there is no food shortage. This is what they call, if they fall for staying in the house for 2 months. If we can make them stay in the house for 2 months and they're not sick, then I guess what we'll make them do? We'll make them believe that there's a shortage in food and pay more for the same food they was paying for 3 months ago. And make them pay 100% more for it in inflation. Because no one has ever even thought about why would there be a food shortage, first of all? Why would the shelves not be full, first of all? There isn't a national disaster. The 18-wheelers are still rolling on the highways. The distribution centers are still open. I mean, yeah, you may have a shortage of meat, but that's bull because if someone has coronavirus at the job, send them home. You have a virus that has a 99.6% recovery rate. If I get coronavirus, why would I be afraid? I'm going to recover. You understand what I'm saying? So when we don't think logically, it's really crazy. So they can hold up. Let's hold off on filling these shelves up because these people that we made stay in the house for 2 months, they're gonna spend whatever we want them to spend on these products. You did? Okay. Nephew, you know what to do. And so I hope you guys are seeing this. See, when you go to the store, you see the inflation. Just understand that it's not inflation based on anything logical. It's based on gangsterism because, remember, 18-wheelers are still on the highways. Name one distribution center that's closed. Trump just signed an executive order saying that all meat companies still have to be open. And once again, if someone had coronavirus at a meat packing company, send them home. It's a 99.6% recovery rate. Okay? So, well, Mr. October, yeah, that's what Trump says. But see, we have to understand how these three branches of government work. We have the judicial branch, okay, which is a court system, executive branch, and then the legislative branch. Congress decides what laws are passed. President just enforces them. But if the president doesn't enforce the laws that Congress passed, then they just go to the judicial branch. So yes, the president wants a payroll tax cut, but wanting a payroll tax cut and having is two different things. Remember, they have to go through Congress first. Okay? Mm. Actually, we let them do this to us because it's called, especially, I mean, it's called complacency, you know? And also it's called, I mean, why would anybody want to step out there when no one else is going to step out there? In order for anything to change collectively, it has to be like a nation. But it has to start like on ground level, like in your city, right? Like if you know that things are not going on well in your city, you know the school system not being accommodated in your city, then you need to change all the school board members out. You got to vote them out. But they know we don't think like that because we get so inundated with things that's on the national television, on the federal level. And that's when we get caught. Because if you don't do it from the ground level, then once those cats get selected to go to Congress, it's a wrap. You think it's an accident? You don't know any of the congressmen or senators that allegedly represent you? Okay. So I would just suggest pay yourself first, family, and get yourself ready for this particular situation. Because remember, you're not gonna get in a better financial situation just being an employee. That's out. You're gonna basically have to reinvent yourself. And you youngsters out there, if you guys have any inclination about technology, I would definitely try to look online, try to find out about these jobs, about contact tracing, about these jobs, about or any type of artificial intelligence, any type of computer software that you can learn. You need to learn that because, like I said, if you go to Walmart, you go to all these stores, there's nobody working in there. Okay, and if you're not a teacher, and teachers are on assault right now. I mean, right now, I'm a teacher, and I'm telling you right now, I don't know what's going to happen pretty soon. Okay, so if you're not a nurse or working in the healthcare industry, you know, just do it for a little while and just stack your cheddar. And if you're married, you gotta, you got your team. Have one person work. I mean, have one person pay the bills, and another person save the cash. Right? Live off one salary for 2 or 3 years. If you got a power couple, see, power couples win in these type of situations because then you can go ahead and get that change, and then you better make all the money to purchase assets because you only want those money to purchase assets. Okay. No, I'll show that. Come on, man. Come on. All right. So, yeah. Hey, increase your financial literacy, family. And like I said, before I get out of here, I said I'm going to come back with a little finance information. Because I do think it's important that you look into trading, you look into, swing trading, or if you're investing, look into situations where you can do some research on companies, right? Get in at a low price, right? And then sell at a higher price. But also have a strategy. Like if you get in at $5, tell yourself when this stock gets to $10, bam, I'm selling. Don't be greedy. Okay, have a plan because a lot of people just don't have a plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So I want to come back with just a couple of the strategies that you can use if you're interested in investing in like from a swing trading standpoint, where you want to buy some stocks and sell them to get some money. Because I promise you, this is what people that have this type of literacy do. They're not working for nobody. They're getting the cash. Okay, making sacrifices, and then they get into this market. Okay, so first thing, family, I'm gonna tell you about it. If you are looking into companies that you want to invest in, right? Learn to read balance sheets and learn to read quarterly statements and finance statements. If any company that you either investing in or you want to invest in, go to their website and look up their financials, or you can go to yahoo.com, or you can go to Bloomberg. Yahoo Finance. You can go to Bloomberg. You can go to Zacks, or go to the SEC website itself and look up these companies' quarterly statements. Okay, so when you look up the quarterly statements, it has the balance sheets, their income statements, and the cash flow statements. Those are three forms. Excuse me, family. Those are three statements, family, that you need to know, like reading the sports page. Because if you learn how to read those numbers and learn how to do that, then you can't go wrong with your investment. Because when you research a company, it's going to tell you on its balance sheets how much money it has, the liabilities and assets, on its cash flow statement, how much money is coming in and how much money is going out, and then on its income statements, the three different particular categories that what that money is being used for, whether it's the operating expenses, whether it's the money that they owe people, and then how much of the money they have that they're investing. So you have a pretty good idea of the money that's coming in with these companies. You never want to invest in a company that's broke. You never want to be a speculator. You never want to be somebody just going with somebody else's word. This is a good company. Invest your money in. No, don't do that. Learn three things, family. Learn how to read an income statement, a balance sheet, and a cash flow statement. And you can find all this information, family, on the SEC website, sec.com, sec.org. And just type in a company and you can show that. And most companies, because they have to be transparent, you can just go to their particular website and just go to their financials. Okay? And then you can see it. So the last thing you ever want to do is invest in a company, right? And then you don't even know how much money they have. Because see, one thing a company is going to do, they need that money to stay alive. So you don't want to be a fool and just give your money away. Any company you invest in, family, make sure you know that company, right? And I always suggest investing in companies that are going to pay you, which are dividend companies. And if you're investing in a dividend company, same thing. Find out how many years they paid the dividend, how much they paid the dividend, and how much how many times they've stopped the dividend, right? So you can always look at a company, right? You can go to yahoofinance.com, bloomberg.com, and zaxinvestment.com to find out whether a company pays dividends and find out the company's dividend amount they pay yearly and their dividend yield. And the dividend yield is basically, what percentage of the dividend they pay in relation to the stock price. Okay. So, Fat, I just want to come back with a little information. Like I say, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And if you're looking to invest, make sure you understand what the balance sheet is, the income statement, and the cash flow statement. Also, these propositions that Congress is making, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, family, but just be prepared either way. Okay, pay yourself first, but also be prepared for a $2,000 monthly stimulus check. If it's Congress, which means if it's the House of Representatives, the congressman, then they basically proposing $2,000 with a $500 per child. The senators, Kamala Harris and a couple other senators, are proposing $2,000 stimulus check and $2,000 per child. Okay, so just kind of look into that, family, and also to the payroll tax cut. And if you're saving your money, if they do that, please use that change that they're going to give you to save and invest. And like I say, this housing market right now, this is a seller's market. It's not a buyer's market. But when this housing market do crash, it's going to be a great opportunity out there, guys, to invest in real estate. I'm always saying, make sure you diversify. Get stocks, bonds, real estate, gold. And a lot of people like to say, I think, who was that? Somebody's talking about cryptocurrency. All right. But also to look into blockchain, which is the infrastructure crypto. All right. All right, fella, I'm finna get up on out here. In the meantime, between time, may the Most High Inside bring you joy. And thank you guys for joining me and being with us out of 5,000.